The 2023 high school football season is finally underway, and that means big game coverage is very busy getting you most of the highlights in town. With more on what's on Instant Replay tonight, here's Larry Ramirez. We started things off with a bang.
We certainly did with the Pigskin Classic. So week 1 is down. We are already ramped up for week 2. I got the schedule for week 3 sitting back at my desk on my notepad. That's how busy I am. The second annual KSAT Pigskin Classic was a huge success. 2 days, 4 games at the Dome, and memories those programs will never forget coming up tonight on Instant Replay.
Dorn, deep drop, steps up in the pocket, scrambles, gets hit.
O'Connor Panthers quarterback Ryder Dorn came up with the play of the day yesterday at the KSAT Pigskin Classic. Tonight, we've got the best of big game coverage from week 1, best catch, best game, etc. And you know that Dorn, thrown to Luke Valdez, made the cut.
Just close with a lot of these guys. That's the hardest part.
Jerry mentioned as he was walking out of the locker room that you were pretty emotional today. What have the last 36 hours been like for you?
An emotional Will Grier played in what is expected to be his last game with the Dallas Cowboys after the team traded for quarterback Trey Lance. Grier's audition for 31 other teams was a good one as he accounted for 4 total touchdowns in the boys' preseason win last night.
Teddy Oluwaseyi, he jumps over the attack. Oluwaseyi, it's punched away.
San Antonio FC tied Pittsburgh last night, currently the best team in the USL Championship with 51 points. The scoreless draw at Toyota Field pushed SAFC's unbeaten streak to 6 straight matches, tying a season best. What does Connor Maloney have to say about the latest draw? We've got the Houston Texans closing down the preseason, Astros Rangers missions, and inside the ring with Mario Barrios. And who should be the Cowboys' backup quarterback? Cooper Rush or Trey Lance? That's our poll question tonight, and I expect you to answer it, Tim. Not right now.
I'm going to think about it.
Go online and do it.
All
for us.
right.
It helps us out.
That helps you out. All right, Larry, I will help you out. In the meantime, KSAT getting a first-hand account from a man on the ground in Maui who led the local emergency response as those fires swept through in the recent weeks, when he's set to visit San Antonio, and how you can help him out. KSAT getting its own insight to what is happening on the ground in Maui. Earlier this week, we told you about a local restaurant manager who previously lived in Lahaina for 25 years.
Yeah, and she connected me to a friend of hers who will be here in San Antonio in just a few weeks. He's been in Maui since the fire started, leading local recovery efforts. He says you can help, and it's not just by donating.
You can only compare it to a war-ravaged, war-torn city.
Respected Maui businessman and philanthropist Garrett Marrero has lived part-time in Maui for at least 20 years. He was there during the fires.
We saw this glow over the mountain.
He owns Maui Brewing Company and several restaurants and says everyone in his business and friend circles survived.
They said 136 homes lost. All teammates accounted for. However, there are some we know that did lose family members.
His businesses were spared, so he immediately cleared them out for those in need.
Literally personally handing cases of steaks and burgers and chicken, and so that they could barbecue because there was no electricity.
The group's efforts turned into a full-blown supply chain operation with a daily convoy to West Maui.
We were the National Guard for the first 3 days. I also, at the same time, was coordinating with people to get FAA to allow us to land into Kapalua because Kapalua is a restricted airport for commercial only. We received that clearance later that day. We were loading planes and flying supplies immediately.
Through social media, he's been dismantling misinformation, including rumors that supplies aren't getting through.
By Friday, Saturday, we were starting to get the way we have too much stuff. Can you slow down the supplies? Because they needed to organize an inventory.
He says the best way to help now is donate money to the vetted local organizations on the ground. He says the biggest piece of misinformation is about tourism, that Maui's closed.
Maui is open. South Maui, Central Maui, all the displaced residents, they want to be working. They want to be able to support their families. And we are highly dependent on tourism.
Late last week, South Maui resorts and condos reported they're running only 12 to 20% occupancy. Marrero says people across the island are already being laid off.
If we don't promote responsible tourism here, we will be creating our own economic disaster unparalleled in the history of Hawaii, including pandemic.
He calls it voluntourism.
Don't go to West Maui and take selfies in front of someone's burned house. come to stay in South Maui or Central Maui, consider serving the population in some fashion through a charitable effort.
Help offer hope to a loving community that's always welcomed visitors to their warm Maui family. Courtney Friedman, KSAT12 News.
Marrero will be in San Antonio in just a few weeks, setting up some fundraisers for Maui alongside the founder of the local Freetail Brewery. We'll let you know when those will be when we get more details. For that list of vetted local organizations on Maui that you can donate to, just find this story on KSAT.com.
Around America, the charges against former President Donald Trump in Georgia facing a major test tomorrow. The Fulton County DA will lay out the details of the anti-racketeering case against Trump and his 18 other co-conspirators, including former Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. Tomorrow's hearing will serve as a mini trial that determines the future of Fulton County's case against the former president, and it will center on Meadows' motion to move his case to federal court. This will be the first time arguments will be heard in court about the criminal charges brought against the former president and the other suspects. Trump is expected to file a similar motion to try to get his trial moved to federal court.
Well, schools across the country are struggling to catch up from pandemic-related challenges, despite getting $190 billion in coronavirus relief money to counteract those setbacks. Between March 2020 and 2021, Congress authorized the money for K through 12 schools, which is about 6 times more than they receive for the federal government in a normal year. Yet education experts say the problems still persist. Harvard's Center for Education Policy Research says the average American student lost half a year of learning in math. Some even fell behind by a year and a half. School districts have a year left to use that COVID money, and they may need to change the way they're using it to help close that learning gap.
A 20-year-old University of South Carolina student was shot and killed when he accidentally tried to enter the wrong home. Police say the person who fired the guns mistook the student for a burglar and shot him. The 20-year-old lived on the same street as the house that he tried to enter, which is just a few blocks away from the school. Right now, it's unclear if the person who pulled the trigger will face any charges.
Remote Australian island has claimed the lives of at least 3 Marines and severely injured several others. 23 U.S. Marines were on board participating in a joint exercise between the U.S., Australia, and other Asian countries. ABC's Faith Abube details the tragic accident from Washington.
The U.S. Marine Corps has confirmed some of their personnel died in an Osprey aircraft crash on a remote Australian island on Sunday. The military aircraft carrying 23 service members during a training exercise. It was in support of an operation between the U.S., Australia, and 3 other Southeast Asian countries when it went down on one of the Tui Islands in northern Australia.
2 U.S. Marine Osprey aircraft left Darwin and flew to the Tui Islands, 80 kilometres to the north of Darwin. After 9 a.m, our Joint Communications Centre received reports of an aircraft crashing on Melville Island.
Other Marines on board the Osprey severely injured. Australian Emergency Services helping with the recovery efforts and evacuating the injured to the city of Darwin, about 50 miles away.
We have stood up a number of systems in the Northern Territory to respond to this incident. We are well resourced and well practiced in the Northern Territory in responding to emergencies.
Australia's Prime Minister promising his government's support.
Our focus as a government and as the Department of Defence is very much on incident response and on making sure that every support and assistance is given at this difficult time.
Only U.S. service members were injured in the crash. Faith Abube, ABC News, Washington.
Tonight, Florida bracing for the impact of Tropical Storm Idalia, which is expected to make landfall as a Category 2 hurricane later this week.
Right now, that storm is just off the coast of Mexico and is slowly moving east towards Florida's west coast. Forecasters say the storm will be strengthened by those warm waters in the Gulf of Mexico before it makes landfall. Emergency officials in Florida are warning of heavy rain, strong winds, and flooding by the middle of next week. And Governor Ron DeSantis is telling people to be ready for power outages, too.
If you are in the path of this storm, expect to lose power for a certain amount of time. And so just take whatever precautions are necessary as a result of that.
The governor declared a state of emergency for 33 counties that could be impacted by the storm.
Yes, definitely something that we're going to continue to monitor very closely over the next few days. We're just 14 days away from the official peak of the 2023 Atlantic hurricane season, and of course, we have seen the activity ramp up. Here is Tropical Storm Idalia this 10 p.m. hour, hanging out near the Yucatan Peninsula. Winds up to 60 miles per hour sustained, gusting upwards of 70 miles per hour. It is going to start that northward track into the eastern Gulf of Mexico tomorrow. Take a look at the water temperatures, upper 80s and low 90s, definitely capable enough of supporting and even strengthening that system. It is currently forecasted to become a hurricane by tomorrow evening, continue that track through the eastern Gulf, and yes, maybe make landfall in between Pensacola and Tampa as a Category 2 hurricane by the middle of the upcoming week. So, of course, we'll continue to keep you posted for all of our friends and family out that way in the days ahead. Back here at home, just hot and another chance for some scattered storms tomorrow afternoon. We'll get you another look at that setup in a few, Tim.
Things are getting busy out there, Mia. All right, coming up after the break, a local mother pleading for school districts to step up and stop a major public health crisis. Her story next on the Nightbeat. It has been called a major public health concern. The CDC says for kids between 14 and 18 years old, suicide is now the third leading cause of death. A mother of a Kirby middle schooler who took his own life tells Daniel Ibarra school systems need to do more.
Etched into Shantina Harris's forearm is a final heartbeat.
We put a little bit of his ashes in the ink.
The ashes belong to her 14-year-old son, Jordan.
He always wanted to put a smile on somebody's face.
2 months ago, Harris lost Jordan to suicide.
There was no red flags. He didn't talk to me.
He was just days away from finishing 8th grade at Kirby Middle School. Harris says Jordan, who struggled with his mental health, was bullied.
He chose to deal with this on his own instead of coming to me. Those are demons I now have to deal with on a daily.
Harris knows she isn't the only parent bearing this pain.
We need better communication between the school systems, between the mental health system.
We can't lose another child. We can't lose children.
Judson ISD School Board Trustee Jose Macias says it's why he created a task force. It's meant to address the emotional and social well-being of students.
We can mourn, we can feel that loss, but going forward, we also have to still look to support students and ensure that we're meeting their needs socially and emotionally.
As an organ donor, Jordan has already saved lives. His mom hopes his heart continues to beat through the change she's creating.
I'm going to continue to push this issue, and I'm going to continue to demand.
Both Harris and Macias will be at Judson High School this weekend having a more in-depth discussion on how the district can do more. For more information, go to KSAT.com. Reporting in Kirby, Danielle Ibarra, KSAT12 News.
Well, we hit that record today that we've talked about a bunch, but I think we need to talk again about our supply.
The grid
and
capacity,
the grid. Yeah.
Definitely, because we've been seeing those conservation appeals come down pretty much each afternoon. And those conditions, at least for the electric grid, have been very tight over the past several days, especially in the evening. Of course, we have the heat that we've been having to deal with across the majority of the state of Texas. And then into the evening hours, especially right as the sun's about to go down, we start to lose that solar generation. Winds die down as well. So that doesn't help when it comes to the overall power generation across the state. So let's take a look at the forecast here over the next several days at about 7 p.m. So again, the supply is that blue line that you're seeing there, forecasted supply, and then those red bars, the forecasted demand. It is still going to be tight at times, but as of right now, it is still looking like forecasted supply is expected to meet the demand. But that does bring up the point. Tomorrow is another CPS Energy yellow day, so if you can continue those everyday conservation measures, that's awesome, especially avoiding using large appliances like your oven, washer, dryer, and dishwasher if possible in between that 3 to 9 p.m. window, because it is still going to be a hot week ahead. Yes, we're going to start off in the upper 70s tomorrow morning. I think our daytime high, especially by about 2 to 3 o'clock, will briefly touch 100 degrees. And then depending on where we can find some of that isolated to widely separated shower and storm activity, especially later into the afternoon and early evening. That will determine if those temperatures start to drop off a little bit more into the evening hours, at least a little bit quicker as well for our Monday. So here's the latest version of your futurecast, again depicting what the radar could look like into tomorrow. No big issues out there throughout the first half of our Monday. I do think we will even find some sunshine. And then as we head into the early afternoon hours around 2 o'clock, some isolated showers start to get going, especially farther off to the west and south of San Antonio. And then there's that 40% potential to find some scattered activity, generally moving in from the northwest, pushing farther off to the southeast. And then by sunset, we lose that daytime heating and the rest of that activity does look to fizzle out. Anything will certainly help, even though it is not going to be for everybody tomorrow. It's not going to be drought busting, but yes, fingers crossed that we will be able to find a little bit more activity out there on the radar. This is the latest drought monitor update that was released on Thursday. You can see extreme to even exceptional drought conditions, the worst drought category that we have still in place across the majority of our region. And by the way, this past drought monitor update does not include the beneficial rainfall that most of us were able to tap into, at least in some capacity, last Tuesday from Tropical Storm Harold that moved inland near Padre Island. For a good chunk of our area, we at least had multi-inch total. So that will be included with the next drought monitor update that was released this Thursday. So we'll look forward to that. Until then, yes, that 40% chance tomorrow, but then we dry things out in terms of rain chances throughout the rest of the work week. And temperatures are still going to be hot in the afternoon. Upper 90s, low 100s expected pretty much each afternoon. And of course, with the heat, the dry grasses and vegetation in place, the lower humidity that works in, especially by Tuesday, when you combine all of that together with breezy winds picking up at times as well, fire danger is going to be elevated really as early as Tuesday. And that's likely going to continue each and every day in some way, shape, or form after that. So that definitely is something to think about there as well. Until then, here's a look at your temperatures. See if you can find where we have some of that rain-cooled air. Rock Springs, Kerrville in the upper 70s. But for places that didn't really tap into that, Pleasanton and Kennedy still checking in at 90 degrees this hour. So quite the temperature spread, just depending on if you were able to cash in on some of that rain earlier this afternoon or not. Again, we have that chance again tomorrow afternoon. Not for everybody, but we'll see what we can find. And then it's just more heat that we have to deal with for the rest of the week, guys.
Well, I think we can support each other. Even if I don't get it, I'll be excited for somebody who does. At least somebody's getting it. At least
they're mostly just nice round numbers, you know. They're lower, not
That's
the 105s.
That's
and
true.
106s.
Okay, we'll take it.
August ends this week. We've got that. All right, it looks like a photo finish at the weekend box office. The early estimates for the top 5 films in theaters next on the Nightbeat. I read it as it was written.
Oh my God! Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem took 5th place with $6.1 million. It's nearing $100 million domestic. Oppenheimer topped the $300 million mark in domestic box office with a 4th place weekend worth $9 million. Blue Beetle dropped from 1st to 3rd, earning $12.8 million.
Hey, Barbie. Can I come to your house tonight?
Barbie keeps raking in the dough. $17.1 million gave the blockbuster 2nd place and a domestic total of $595 million.
I know what I'm doing. I'm not afraid.
A narrow victory for Gran Turismo. The racing flick based on a true story took the checkered flag, grossing $17.3 million in its debut weekend. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Toy beat a toy. Video game toy. Yeah. All right. Thankfully, the NFL season, preseason, has come to an end with the Texans at the Saints tonight. That means the real games will soon start.
We're very excited about it. That's an understatement. Plus, the Dallas Cowboys traded for a quarterback, and that means they're going to have to let one go. For a preview of what's on Instant Replay tonight, here's Larry Ramirez.
And it looks like that guy is going to be Will Greer, and Dak Prescott certainly isn't very happy about it. Entering his 8th season in the NFL, Dak says he's not surprised by anything and that he understands the NFL is a business. Coming up tonight on Instant Replay.
To be honest with you, I'm not surprised by anything anymore. You've been in this league 8 years, been on this team. It's hard to say that I was surprised, to be honest with you. Honestly, right now, I mean, my heart and my mind's with Will. And so it's a tough situation, honestly. Love that guy to death.
QB1 Dak Prescott doesn't sound very happy about the fact that Will Greer has likely played his last snap for the Cowboys now at the organization, traded for Trey Lance. Greer was emotional last night after leading the boys to a preseason win. Big game coverage. Week 1 was super busy, but a lot of fun. And tonight we'll have the best fans, best pass, best catch, best run, and the best play from an awesome weekend of high school football. The best of BGC is back, baby. Plus, we're talking SAFC, Rangers, Astros, Missions, boxer Mario Barrios, and the press box, which replaces the sports guys. That and more coming up after the Nightbeat.
Something new.
Something new. The press box. Tune in.
We will tune in. Thank you very much, Larry. Does it matter if I voted like 20 times?
Thank you.
No? Okay, good. That was a good thing.
He's allowed. Don't give him permission for things like that. We'll be right back.
20 more now.